Hey, how you doing? This is Steve Hodge with episode 2 of Building. Yes, I said it, Building. All right. Just a phenomenal show that we have every week to talk about some of the things that we love, some of the things that we talk about behind closed doors, bringing it to the forefront with some incredible people. And today, I have another incredible person with me. Before I do that, once again, I always shout out this piece of work behind me. This is King Brand, Jean-Michel Basquiat, 1983. It is a print, but I believe that I'm going to own the original at some point. So I want to make sure that I got some healthy art behind me. I think that's the way to do it. Absolutely. And to the other part of the screen, you'll see a handsome gentleman, Brandon McEachern. All right. I could name 1,000 things. I'm going to do the Steve Harvey intro. But, this gentleman is responsible for a movement that is shaking up not just the States, but the world. You know, we need a lot. And when I met the gentleman, I knew that he was going to be a mover and shaker. He already was. He's had some stints in the entertainment world. So Google this man, you know who he is. But right now, he is the captain of the ship Broccoli City, bringing healthy lifestyles and information, education, music, and to the forefront, especially for us Black folks. Brandon, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, Steve, man. Thank you for having me, my brother. And I appreciate that illustrious intro. Thank you.
It's good to see you. I'm for real. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, too. And like I said before we started recording, I see that lineup. That's insane. You know what I mean?
Thank you, sir. I try to, you know what I mean? You got to have the angles.
I see you. I'm not bad at it.
I still have some up there, man. I'm 40.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy, Steve. I be forgetting that too, bro. Yeah. I really do, man. I really do, because you don't nowhere near act that age physically.
So listen, I want to go backwards first. So let me tell this story. All right. Little story.
All right.
So I think it's New Year's Eve. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
In like 2012, 2013, New Year's Eve. Listen to how crazy this works. I was from Hartford, Connecticut. Brandon's from Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah. We're both living in Los Angeles, right? So my man Tariq, shout out to you, Tariq. He opened up Grant High School where we were coaching. And the whole idea was to get everybody in the gym, get a bunch of adults, some strong, skilled men, just to get in there New Year's Eve so ain't nobody do nothing stupid, so we could all go home to our families. So we just want to play some ball, lock the doors, enjoy each other's company, like I said, meet some new people, and just hoop. And about 3 days prior, I'm on the train leaving Grant High School for my after school program job that I had. I had a gig working after school with kids. And, it was my first gig. I'm also coaching. And I hear my name. I hop on the train, living in North Hollywood, and I hear my name. Steve Hodge. Now, listen, I ain't gangster, but I'm from around the way. You know my full government. I'm not turning my head, especially in Los Angeles, because I don't know too many people. So I hear my name, yo. And when I hear the yo, if you from Hartford, you know it, yo. So I'm like, all right. I turn around and it's my man, Ramarius. Shout out, Ro. What up, Ro?
Yeah.
So I turn around. I'm just so happy to see a familiar face. I'm grinding. I hate that word grind, but I'm working hard. I'm training. I'm working the after school program. I'm trying to be a legitimate dad. I'm making pennies. I'm out on a train because I only have one whip. It was real. That was my truth. And to see a familiar face was everything. So we embraced and we talked and we chopped it up and we were sharing our vision, our goals, dreams, how we had landed in Los Angeles. And I said, yo, we hooping New Year's Eve. Yo, grab a couple dudes and come through.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, I want to hoop, Ro got a ring. All right. I'm still a little broke up about that ring because we went to that same school, and I would like to think that we were the forefathers of that ring that Berkeley squad got. But shout out him. But you guys showed up. Thomas showed up too. That's where I met you. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Thomas Blunt, what up, baby?
Yeah.
So we come in the gym and we have a good time. I think we lost the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Then we lined everything up. We got yourself, we got Canty, we had Thomas, you, myself, and I think we had somebody else out there. I
forgot who it was, but yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
we didn't lose after that. Right. We didn't lose a game that entire night, and the brotherhood was cool. Nobody was fighting. We all walked. Yeah. We all left out of there and seen our families, but we connected.
Yeah.
And I remember the second time, basically, we got a real opportunity to talk. It was over. It was a funeral. It was wow. We got a chance to really chat.
Wow, it was. Yeah. Dang, Steve. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so
it was. We got a chance to talk. I think we got in the same car, and we was, really talking it up at the repass. Chatting it up. And I finally asked you, because that's just who I am. Dude looks so familiar. He sounds familiar. It sounds familial, like family. I'm like, well, maybe he's from Hartford too, and maybe he's just a dude from another part of the city that I just didn't know. So I said, brother, where you from? I'm from North Carolina, brother. I'm from North Carolina.
Stay there.
Nah, your accent don't fit. It don't match. And I told you, I'm like, we embraced like brothers the moment we met. And I knew that you were shining from day one. I knew that you had something glowing about you. And then we ended up seeing each other at One Church LA.
Man, come on.
And just always getting a chance. And whenever I embrace you, it always feel like I'm embracing my brother. Like I haven't seen you in a million years, and like I'm supposed to see you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And even the way you embrace my family. What's up, Queen?
Yes, always.
So those kind of things, people kind of pass off. I don't. Those things, I lock those in. You know what I mean? In my mental Rolodex and in my spirit. Yes, so I appreciate that, man. And so that's how we met. And here we are, doing major things. Yeah. And I just love your energy. I love your spirit. Like I said, I've watched and read everything that you've been a part of. So your name was on it. I read it in the past week. And I think on the Revolt Summit is where I was like, this dude is himself.
Word. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
So, like I said before,
understand how powerful that is. I'm going to do it again. That shit right there has caused more change in the community, I think, than anything, if you use that energy right.
Even when we weren't seeing each other, I've always rooted for you.
Man.
So, of course, I think we're talking about it. But, I don't know nothing. I just know we hadn't seen each other. I'm living in Inglewood now, and my wife and I are watching Insecure.
Yeah.
Rewind it.
Don't sound crazy, right? What I want to talk to you about is the seriousness of Lion King in this day and age.
So,
that's big.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. It was like we was there.
Thank you.
We were in that scene.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, this dude never changes character.
My guy, man. Come on.
How cool is that, man? How cool is that?
Yes, sir.
So, I want to jump into some things.
Okay.
But before we do that, you and I don't get much time. This is not where we're going with it.
Okay.
I'm going to take a quick second and just ask, man, where are you on this Ahmad?
Oh man.
I almost can't get it out because I was.
Yeah.
Where are you, man?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know you know what I mean when I say where are you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm extremely frustrated, bro. That was the one. And I hate to say that we used to it, right? Like we always seeing ourselves, murder, But with something about that one that has me not moving out the street no more. Because I'm a real nice person. You understand, Steve? So when I see somebody walking down the street and I'm walking my dog or whatever, I move out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how you doing? But now it's
different.
You know what I mean? Because it's
not even your character, which is funny.
Yeah, it's not exactly. It's not my character at all. But that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. My wife, God bless her soul, man. She allowed me a minute to rant, and that was the first time. I just stopped in the hall, just going to the restroom or something, just engaging, and we just crossed, and something came up, and I just like lost it, and I'm like, I said, my love, I have a son. I said, my love, I went to school in South Carolina. I've been down there. I know what it is. And nowhere in that world were we talking about someone just running. And it blew my mind. So I hadn't seen it. And I think that day I had seen it.
Oh,
I had seen it. And I don't know what it is about looking at something, man. When you see it, and it wasn't what our eyes have been adjusted to. And it did something to me, man. And I was angry. And I was extremely, I was furious. I told my mom, I know people are thinking about the act and a young brother being 25. Man, I got about to be, just turned 26. I got married at 26. I jog. I take care of my body. I've lived down south. I have a child. I'm a black brother. And it blew my mind that I'm trying to raise a son now. And here we are, COVID-19, he's 2 years old. You're thinking about father-son, just tossing the softball, the baseball, playing one-on-one, teaching him how to shoot a jumper, or whatever it is, whatever sport, or whatever that thing is that you bonded. That man bonded with his son.
Bruh. Come on now. And that's the thing. How are we to the point now where people are doing citizen arrest? Like that wasn't even man, I don't even want to get into it, but yeah.
I ain't heard citizens arrest since Citizens on Patrol.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
That was a real thing to me. I thought that was a joke.
Come on, bro. And to your point, just very upset, disappointed. But then, like, what do we do? Like, I always try to be not reactionary, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what can we do now? You know what I mean? Like, how do we keep,
move forward?
And you know what? It's so crazy.
And be outside. We ain't supposed to be outside.
And so it's funny though that this comes up because I wanted to ask you a question, Steve. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Since we're building, right? So boom, and y'all don't know if you're gonna edit this out. I don't know how to say it because I wanted to ask you about Michael, right? I wanted to ask you about Michael Jordan, right? How do you feel being that you were and are an excellent ball player, right? And, ball has gotten you a lot of places in your life, right? So that means that your revere, whatever, for Michael Jordan is probably different than somebody like myself, who of course, we love Mike, you know what I mean? Being that obviously you're a brother of substance, how do you feel about Michael's, I think his silence, better yet, on certain issues? I think they touched on it the one before last, and he kind of said that he just kind of focused on the game, and I understood that, but I would love to get your point, being that you are, part, basketball, part Nipsey Hussle, you know what I mean? I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that.
It's a very interesting duality if you think about it. In my heart, you're right. We revere him. We still revere him because we picked up a ball, and then that transitioned into Allen Iverson because I started recognizing that I'm not 6'6", fadeaways don't work. And this dude looks and acts the way we act. He smells. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I can see both pieces. Mm-hmm. I play ball as a pro, not in the NBA, but I've been a professional athlete. Mm-hmm. And I know what it's like at 5'10" to be able to do that. 1% of anyone who ever touches a ball ever gets to grace the stage and call himself a pro. Mm. So to see where he took it and see the way he mesmerized us and the work ethic that he put in and the narrow-minded oneness to get to a goal, I can understand that part.
Got it.
But the other, more mature, more stable, more responsible me understands that, man, what a missed opportunity with an incredible entity.
Got it.
So I get both sides.
Got it.
Which is interesting. But I do know that we probably missed a phenomenal moment if he had someone in his ear and had him go there. But if he had to get someone in his ear to do that, that means his heart wasn't there. So even if he had spoken up, it would have been done gracefully.
It wouldn't have been genuine.
People would have seen through that was inauthentic. So I guess in that case, thank you for not saying something stupid.
Interesting. Never really looked at it that way. That makes sense because it's always the and I definitely don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but it's always the Bron and the Jordan thing. But when you see that, Bron is not afraid to speak on certain issues, even though he don't have that dog in him, obviously that Michael had, that, you know what I'm saying? That speaking up, that confidence to kind of hop out there because we kind of need that. You know what I mean? And that's what, yet again, and I had made that joke about you being part ball player, part Nipsey Hussle. But if we think about a Nip and how he's so revered because he wore his emotions on his sleeve. So as Black men, going into the building part, you know what I'm saying? Like it says something about a brother that wears his convictions out there. You know what I mean? And I just think it's a powerful thing, and I just wanted to kind of bring that up.
No, you brought up, listen, man, truth is truth.
Interesting.
And it goes to also show you, brother, that we're not monolithic. Black folks, you know what I mean? We're just not monolithic. Our spirits are different. Our minds are different. Our concepts are different. The way we raise our families is different. There's a lot of culture things that we're trying to bring to the forefront that should be addressed and, more than just entertainment and sports. But it just goes to show you, man, the way you're raised, where you come from, what your plight is, it definitely defines your movement.
Absolutely.
And maybe, who are we to say it? I wasn't in the house.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Look at things like, I love talking to you. So I look at things like the Hobbit or Game of Thrones, like these sequence films, right? Because if Frodo didn't do something to Sam in the first movie, then in the last movie, you get what I'm saying? So if me and you hadn't have met at the basketball court with Ro, then it never would have, you get what I mean? So in that part, that's a trip. You know what I mean?
Perfect. It's almost, without getting like deep and spiritual, it's perfect. And that's what God is, perfect. And I mean, who are we to say this or that? As you see, what's funny? Going back to your point, the one thing he said, the one thing that we could actually get on record that he said was Republicans buy shoes too.
He did.
That was an epic fail. Maybe he knew, I'm not well versed. I probably shouldn't do that again. Maybe his father, who he revered so much, said, listen, son, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do and that you're not competent in.
Got it.
We don't know what kind of. But
and see another thing, that's the beauty about it, right, Steve? Right, about influence and affluence, right? So, for example, the whole world shuts up when Michael Jordan wants to talk about basketball. Hear me out, Steve. But if Michael Jordan is talking about animation or cars or I don't know, planting a garden,
right?
I don't know.
Or we seen it in real time. I would love, B, to have seen what the numbers were. I don't know how they do numbers on TV. That was your world for a little bit. Maybe you can shed some light. I would love to have seen what the numbers were yesterday during the 10 to 15 minute segment on him being a baseball player. I kind of walked away. How about that?
Hey.
That just goes, it shines like.
But I don't think a lot of people knew that he batted over 200. You know what I'm saying? Like, they said a lot of interesting facts that was like kind of crazy that I didn't know about.
It's almost like I didn't care. So you're right. Back to your point.
Yes.
He did say something about or whatever.
So the goal is, and this is a question that I'm asking you, or just some dialogue for us, is when you become an expert at something, that's when the influence starts. That's when people start listening. If Tiger Woods talks about golf, we all be quiet. Because they're an expert in that realm. You get what I mean?
You're talking about, it's why I love talking to you. You're talking about language. I just had this real affinity for 10,000 hours and the art of mastering something.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? Because when you know this, when you go to court, if you're called into witness, they'll say, Brandon, in your expert opinion, you've been for 15 years and you spend this amount of hours doing this. In your expert opinion,
that's it.
You're right. Not one moment before do you qualify for that.
That's it. So as soon as that happens, as soon as, let's say you're an actor, right? And you done did 15 of those little movies, you was on them CSIs, da-da-da-da-da. As soon as you get on that Black Panther screen, you become an actor. And then you're doing the conferences, you're doing these interviews that I'm doing now with my brother Steve. Not saying you wouldn't hit me anyway, because you're my brother, but you're hitting me because I'm an expert in a thing. You get what I'm saying? So that's just the interesting dichotomy, I think, just in terms of young men going into this world, like us building and becoming who we are. I'm not mad at telling young men to become an expert in something, you know what I mean, versus a jack of all trades. And that's where me and you live at now. We live in LA where it's like, I can do this, I can do that, I can do, and all that's cool. But if you're an expert at one thing, then, you know what I'm saying? There goes that affluence or that influence.
Like you said, you're going back to your background. You start off as a PA.
Yeah.
You leave North Carolina, you decide, enough is enough. I need to do something. I want to do something that's going to help. Boom. You shout out just like many of us. They call us place. We shoot out to LA. Out the frying pan into the fire, as Hodge would say. We
let's do it.
We take odd-end jobs. We drive Uber. We drive Postmates.
All that.
We do whatever. You come into the entertainment. You're dealing with Beats by Dre.
Yeah.
You're living in a world talking about living out in Santa Monica, as you spoke of. Working in Santa Monica and this different people. If you haven't been to LA and you're not, it's a different world. Than what
where we from.
It's
a different world from where we come from.
Right.
What we have to do as young African-American men is adhere to the principles. And the principles are this, right? The principles are kind of like the laws, right? Like me dropping this pen, that's a law. It's going to happen every time. You know what I mean? Every time, no matter what. So if you work at something, to your point, you're going to get better at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and we can go into,
We're going where we go. This goes wherever we go with it.
Facts, my bad.
Going back to principles, it goes back. I don't like to be divisive. I don't subscribe to this idea that us OGs with a little bit of gray in our beard don't like the younger dudes, and the younger dudes just think we washed. I don't subscribe to that. I think there is a gap. I definitely think there's a gap. And the funny part is we're responsible, because if you look at these young kids, they're ours. They're our children. They're us, because we was listening to Jodeci and everybody having these kids at 17, 18, 16, 17, 18, and then splitting and doing what we had to do because we weren't ready. So you've got a generation of kids growing up with different principles. Different principles. Yeah. And as you say, some things will never change. That pin that you will always drop.
Always drop.
If you put out certain energy, it's always going to come back.
Always.
You know what I mean? If you put a certain amount of hours into a craft, you'll get better. You may not be the star at it, but you'll. And to me, we're going. Maya Angelou's my favorite quote from her is, "At our best, we're teachers."
Come on, man.
You learn. So think about it. Who's one of the best coaches in the league right now? They're never the best players.
Come on, bro.
Best players.
Come on, man. And who are the best pastors? People who have been through something, who have gone through. It's easy for me to listen to a man who could talk to me about temptation, yada, 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 if he was out in them streets. I can't listen to you if you was a nerd. Because, and now I don't mean that no disrespect, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you need people who have gone through things to get that message across. You know what I mean? And I think that's why, the Most High takes us through what he takes us through. You know what I mean? Not that we not ready for the blessing, but to get us ready for the blessing. The blessing been ready. You know what I mean? Right. But we gotta get ready for it. Because if I'm your mama and I give you the car keys at 5, you're gonna wreck the whip. You know what I mean? But if you're 18 and you cool and you on your bang, now you're driving it straight. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, you don't know all that stuff until hindsight, but watching, the joint we was just talking about, the MJ doc, I'm pretty sure they was looking at all that saying, man, in hindsight, you know what I mean? I know Steve Kerr was like, man, I'm so glad I stood up the mic and caught that right. You know what I mean? Like, in hindsight.
Here we go with the doc. You know what? Here we go with the doc. What got me, because I lived it, you know what I mean? I lived it. What got me was when he cut, you know what I mean? Break.
Oh, yeah.
I said, wow. It's almost like that big brother who, because Pop worked 40 hours, Pop worked 50 hours a week. Man. So you don't really see him, and Mom worked too. So as a big brother, you kind of have like a stronger role in your younger sibling's life. And as, you know, imagine just being older, you know what I mean? Or maybe at a funeral or at a wedding.
Yeah.
Finally, that brother has to tell you, you have an issue with me? You have an issue with how hard I pushed you? Look what you did with this. I had to do this.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Horace Grant, had I not pushed you this hard, would you have got that $50 million contract for Orlando?
Oh, and I like
to take care of your family?
Come on, man. Come on.
If I hadn't pulled that out of you, Steve, would you?
Straight up.
Scotty's a top 50 player. Is he a top 50 player if Mike didn't? Every leadership is different.
Yes.
I'm not saying right or wrong, left or right. It's different. And to see him show the passion that he showed during the moment where he was like, I was doing it for a reason.
How else was I supposed to do it? He didn't know, to your point. Like, I got to imagine how frustrating that was. And it's funny because me and my wife was thinking the same thing watching it. Like, man, like, you know what I mean? Like,
you play a sport, and if you play it to win, if you've ever been in a sport and you play it to win, people don't talk about the number of hours that you spend in practice. They don't talk about the camaraderie. They don't talk about being sick of seeing the same faces every day. They don't talk about wanting to call coach and make up a lie because you're too tired, but you want to sit, but you still show up. And there's this different little rivalries and cliques on a team, and then you get between those lines and you buy into what the coach is saying, into the culture, and it manifests itself into this win. And you scream and you holler and you hug your brother and you cry. But there's always somebody in the midst of that crowd on that team or that group that you have to pull. That's the dynamic. And this, I love the doc. There's a dynamic that people don't see. They only see the contracts, the shoes, and who wins. Wow. You don't see what it's like. And no way in the world would I take it here with LeBron, Kobe, and Mike.
Yeah.
This doc is showing you the inner workings of a man, right or wrong.
Right or wrong, man. And that's why, you know, I don't know if you've seen the Muse, but Kobe joint, but Kobe was he was elbowing, you know what I mean? Like his own teammates in practice. Yeah, oh boy, let's go. You know what I mean? So to your point, it's but then it's like this, right? Like winning and then success, right? Like, you know, are those the same things? You know what I mean? Like that's a question that's often been posed since last night's doc. I've been on a couple of, you know what I'm saying, group texts about that. You know what I mean? But yet again, it goes back to being an expert at something. Bro, the only reason why we all glued in, man, is because that man, to your point, he put in that time, he put in those hours, even when it comes to rappers that we revere or, you know, anybody that's in the spotlight. It goes back to being that expert, and being an expert at something causes that influence, that affluence, which means that you can change lives. People are listening to you. They hang on every word you said, you know what I mean? Because you did one thing well, you know what I mean? So yes, it's just a powerful dynamic, man. And it's understanding these principles, it's understanding these laws, it's walking with your head up, and it's understanding that a man's will is probably one of the most powerfulest forces and a changed mind on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Changing your mind and a man's will.
There's a reason why Rocky IV or Karate Kid, come on, you can't turn it off.
Bro.
They tapped into the fact that there's a will of a man that will always attract people.
Always. Like, you know what I mean? Filipino type cat. So long story short, I talk to a lot of people. You know me, how I get down. So we rapping and I'm chatting with him and he's like, yeah, man, you know, these, I'm like, man, that's a dope little t-shirt he had on. Long story short, he was one of the founders of Crooks and Castles, right? I don't know if you remember that brand, Crooks and Castles, right? You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, so I'm so baffled at this time. I'm like, yo, this is what you do? You know what I mean? Because yet again, this was before the Instagrams, and even I don't even know if MySpace had really popped like that yet.
Hold on, B. What you get here? What year did you get here?
08, like 08, 09.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I was here, yeah. So I say all that to say, like, I never knew about that life, right? Like, just in terms of the whole entrepreneurialistic type of way to go at things. So I'm looking at dude, I'm like, oh, word, like, this is what you do? And he telling me this is what I do. You know what I mean? So long story short, at this time, I am working as a production assistant, you know what I'm saying, a PA. So PAs, you know, just like I said in that other video, you know, we're responsible for going and getting cat subs and things like that, right? But at this time, I was working in Santa Monica. And Santa Monica, for those of you who don't know, is beautiful. It's a beach town. It's gorgeous. You know what I mean? It's wonderful. And I was getting my hair cut, and I also went to church in the Crenshaw and the South Central area of Los Angeles. And I just noticed the disparities, right? Like I noticed that when I would go to work, people would be super chipper. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Happy. Hey, how you doing? You know, all that. And then you go to, you know, on the South Central side of things, and, you know, we're walking with our heads down. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Mean mugs. And it just seemed, I don't know, it just seemed dark over there, right? And obviously you notice, like, just like in our communities, it's a Burger King, McDonald's, liquor store, right? And then I noticed what was going on in Santa Monica. And I'm like, damn, they got, like, you know, all these exclusive salad spots and these, you know, daytime spas. And, you know, I don't know. I just felt like, man, maybe it's something that that they're putting in their bodies, because it seemed to be a lot of healthy options in the Santa Monica area, right? So I was like, okay, well, how can I kind of tell and at this time I'm learning about Earth Day too. When I was working at the MTV thing, I ended up learning what Earth Day was, which I didn't know. And I remember it was some random cat.
We didn't grow up knowing what Earth Day
what Earth Day was, you know what I'm saying? Like I had heard cats say my Earth, which, you know, our 5% brothers talking about like they girl or whatever. I had heard about that. But yeah, Earth Day, I'm like, all right, you know, okay, what is that? You know what I'm saying? And dude kind of broke me down on what it is. And I was like, man, it would be dope if we did like a black or a urban, you know, Earth Day type of scenario to inform my people on what they could be doing to be living healthier, giving back to the community, but making it fly and dope and not seeming like kind of like a chore, right? Or being preachy. Because if you know anything about us, we don't like being preached to. Don't tell me what I need to be doing, yada, 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 right? So 2010 comes, right? And I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do this event. I still had, I had the vision. And Broccoli City was something that was happening, but it was just a t-shirt line. We had just did t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Broccoli City was just about t-shirts because of the Crooks and Castles thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The guy that I met. So I'm like, oh, you could do t-shirts. So Broccoli City was a name that I called Greensboro, right? Green, broccoli, borough, the city. You know what I'm saying? Broccoli City, Greensboro. Right? So I'm like, yo, I'm going to do this Earth Day concert. Now, at the time, I had already been throwing parties, right? Like, it was a club in Hollywood called Center Space, right? And I remember going to Center Space and I ended up meeting the guy, like one of the promoters, right? Who was like doing, and I was like, man, like, how did you, you know, how did you get to throw this party or host this party? So he schooled me to the game. I had started doing parties. So I kind of, you know, Broccoli City had a little name, right? Because we would do like little events in Hollywood. And at this time, I'm meeting all the people from the hip hop scene in Los Angeles. So this is like a group called You and I, you know, this is, you know, any of them cats from back in the day, the Dom Kennedys of the world, you know what I'm saying? Like even Nipsey, you know what I'm saying? Like you can go and see a video on World Star Hip Hop. I had did this panel at UCLA that Nip was on, and this was like 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying? Los Angeles. But I just say all that to say that I understood that there was a void, right, in the town. I knew it was a void as far as the music scene, because it seemed like everybody was trying to get on blogs, right? The Two Dope Boys, the Nah Rights. It was during that time. When 2010 came, and I'm like, yo, you know, we're gonna do this Earth Day festival. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro, I got the venue. You know what I'm saying? I put it together. You know, I worked. Yeah, just start putting the things together. I had knew some young men out here that were like the cool kids, and I think they were from like Inglewood or something. Not the cool kids, like the rap group, not them, but these dudes. I could tell that they thought they was the cool cats. You feel me? Like, so I'm like, okay, because they was from here. And that's the one thing that you got to know. You got to know when you're not from somewhere. You got to know, like, okay. So I end up tapping them, right? So I'm smart enough to go hit them up. Yo, listen, I'm about to do this thing. I want y'all to be a part of it, because if they are part of it, then all the LA folks, you know what I'm saying? You know how we think, because we're not from here, you know, and I still had that, and I actually got to work on that to this day. But you know, when you first move here from the East Coast, you got this, yo, I'm from the East Coast, yo. I'm from this, you know what I mean?
It's a defense mechanism.
Yo, a huge defense mechanism. You just crying somewhere in your car on the low. But so anyway, yeah, man, 2010 hit, man. You talking everybody, Dom Kennedy, Pat Div, Kendrick Lamar, the group you and I spoke about, like, and I thought it was gonna be 250 people out there. You know what I mean? End up being like 500, 600 people. So I'm like, okay. And this downtown LA, I got cats coming up to me like, B, this is the best event I've been to ever. Oh my God. The next year or later on that year, all of them got signed. Every last one of them.
No IG, no.
Bruh, no IG, none of it. Everybody got signed. Right? So at the end of the day, you got to think about your brother, Steve. I'm not trying to be on nobody's team. So I'm not trying to go to Warner Brothers and get a job or nothing like that, or go to Interscope or nothing like that. But everybody else, they all got signed. They rappers. They the talent. So they all got signed. Everybody got signed. The next year, I didn't even attempt to do it because it was a different atmosphere then. Right? Like, so this is 2011 now. And I'm like, man, like, I'm talking to my friends and all that back east, and you know, my partner Marcus, he like, bro, you need to bring that joint here, man. Bring it to DC, right? So me being from North Carolina and you being from CT, you know, like DC is just a hub for us.
Yeah, they say it's Atlanta, but it ain't like it ain't.
Nah, it ain't like the A, but but DC is a special place. You know what I mean? So long story short, 3 years done passed. You know what I'm saying? 3 years done passed. 2013. And yet again, I'm just talking about the festival now, you know what I'm saying? But 2013, the Broccoli City Festival was born. The first one, the one that we did in 2010, was called Global Coolin'. You know what I mean? That was the name of it, the Global Coolin'. And it was the first like little Earth Day, little festival joint. And it was lit. And then in 2013, yet again, we had Big Crit. He was one of our acts. We had a lot of vendors, right? So I went and got a lot of business, young people who had businesses, because we all the same age now. We all 25, 26, 27. So I'm like, yo, y'all can vend at this, because yet again, it's about making people have equity in it. How can I get you to have equity in it? You know what I'm saying? Like if me and you was rocking back then, I'd have been like, yo, get a breakthrough booth. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't have charged you nothing. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't have charged you nothing because you my man. And there's millions, I'm not millions, but there's a lot of entrepreneurs that can say B is telling the truth on that. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even charge a lot of my homies that were vendors or whatever. And then I also tapped on the city of DC at the time to get like, the housing, you know how they got different departments, right? So I got Department of Health, Department of Housing. You know what I'm saying? Listen, this is a cool event. You're going to be able to touch millennials, yada, yada, yada. I learned and understood the concept of making a deck and a one sheet, you know, and a one sheet obviously has the who, what, when, where, and why. Right? And I always try to tell young brothers that so they know how to go ahead and do it themselves if they want to, right? But yeah, man, we thought we was going to do like 2,500 people, end up doing 5,000 folks out there in DC. The mayor came through there. It was a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
No violence.
No fighting, none of that. Just good food, great music. And then the next week it was on every blog. It was on all these spots. I'm getting all these texts from people saying, thank you for creating a safe space for us. And then that's when I was like, okay, that's what this is. This is a safe space, because if you think about the festival boom, hip hop was everywhere. Yep. Rappers were everywhere, but we weren't. So if you look at Rolling Loud wasn't even going on then, but if you look at any of those big festivals at the time, they would have a hip hop act as the headliner. Right. But the crowd was not, we weren't there. And obviously it was because of, ticket prices and things of that nature. And that's one thing that we always did, was we kept our ticket prices at a good rate, because we understood, you know what I mean? You could be a single mother, you could be a single father, you know what I mean? And you can't spend $200 to come and see, you know what I'm saying?
plus hotel if you're not from around the way.
Come on, man. Yeah. Come on. You can't shop while you there. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I wanted you to leave better than you came. I've had people who have gotten proposed to at Broccoli Cities. I've had businesses start because of Broccoli City, as far as just people connecting there. And yet again, it's just about providing that space for us to connect. I ain't do nothing special, but provide the space for young kings and young queens to connect. And once they connect and they like-minded, it's off to the races.
Via your vision. That was via your vision. And you can
absolutely
walk and you continue to believe. 3 years lapsed, but you were like, I'm still pregnant.
Absolutely. I couldn't get it out my head. It bothered me.
That's purpose.
So anybody listen to this, if it's bothering you, whatever you waking up in the morning and it's bothering you, that's what you're supposed to be doing. It's been a beautiful, beautiful thing. I think, Broccoli City has given, young cats, and I think I spoke on this as far as that interview that you're talking about with Revolt, is the gall and the audacity to kind of go out there and create their own. Because when they see me and you, Steve, and you get to dap me up and I talk to you and all that, then you like, oh, man, I can do that. And that's how, like, I'm going to keep it a band. I'm going to share a story with you. So in the midst of my journey, I started working at advertising agencies doing like strategy, right? Like freelance gigs and things, right? So one time I worked for this company called Zambezi, right? Y'all can Google this, Zambezi. It's a small shop out Venice, California. So one of the initial investors and founders of Zambezi is Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. I went to this, I worked at this spot. I knew the guy, Chris, who actually owned the agency. Long story short, one day I had went there. I don't know if it was to pick up a check, talk to Chris, whatever. And as I'm leaving, I see number 8. You know what I mean? Like this is real life, honest to God. And I dapped him.
Hold on, Pete. You didn't say number 24. You said
I did.
Number 8.
I see number 8, bro. And I dapped him up. And I remember he gave me the dap hug. Dap hug. And it wasn't the like get away from me, like, you know what I mean? You got dirty hands. Like, it was real talk though, Steve. But come on, man. This is Kobe Bryant, bro. And this nigga dapped me. He don't know me from Adam. I mean, granted, I'm coming out of his establishment, but I dap him up and I like, we gave the hug and I'm like, yo, I can body slam you, fam. You get what I'm saying? It was the moment where I realized that he was a human.
Yeah.
Bro, those moments, bro. And that's why I get so upset at artists sometimes for being so emo and fucking weird. Because it's like, people need to see you. They need to touch you because then your power seems so much more extreme then. Because after I dab Kobe, Steve, real talk, and now I look at all his highlights, they hit me different. Because I'm like, yo, bro, he's not 6'9", bro. He's not 700 pounds. He was a man. And, bro.
You know what? What's funny? I got to say it. Like God, man, that also speaks to your energy. I don't care who you are, what you're talking about. When you say the word energy, people get scared of it. You're not talking about Jesus. You're not talking about Jesus.
What instance that?
Right. Black folks scared of that. No, there's an energy that people carry with them.
Yeah.
There's a glow, and I'm connected. I'm extremely connected to my creator. You can't tell me no different. Mm-hmm. And when I met you, like I said, I thought you was from Hartford. I'm like, this dude from Hartford. He must have went to a different school, but this is a good guy. It feels good. When I see you, it's always love. I don't know if you're having a bad day. I would never know. I would never know, B. So for you to say that you hollered at Kobe, he dapped you up, you probably seen your energy, brother. It was familial. It was familial.
Bro, and yet again, I was stating that point because, bro, dude was a human, fam.
Yeah.
He was a human, man, and I think that it's something clicks, right? In young men of color when we see ourselves on screen or, whatever, what have you, right? Like, Yes, right. So we do a conference, right? So let me speak on that. So we got Broccoli City Festival, but then we also do a conference that happens 2 days before the actual festival. Now, right? It's a 2-day conference where we focus on everything from diversity in tech, social entrepreneurship, you know what I mean, financial literacy, personal development, health and wellness, you know, the whole gamut, right? And the reason why that was started is because when I was coming up here in LA, I felt like nobody really wanted to reach back down to me, right? So you meet a brother, you meet somebody, and you like, yo, I got this vision, you know what I'm saying? And I'm out here plotting, I'm telling you, fam, look, let me get your email, and you're not being like, I know how to not be brash or be fucking weird. I'm fly. I'm not no dirty cat. I'm trying to build with you. You email them, they never hit you back, Steve.
I'm not putting this on LA.
Bruh.
Forgive me. I love where I live. I'm an Inglewood resident. I love it here. I ain't never leaving. I love raising my kids here.
Yeah.
As far as LA, it's got that vibe. It's weird. What do they call it? Let's do lunch.
Come on, man. And that hurt me. It hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
You're a real one.
Right, bro. That shit. I used to be like, damn, like, because I understand. I think one of the dopest things about me is I know when to leave. You feel me? Like back in the day, before I got married, when you was dating and things like that, I felt like young ladies used to like me because I knew when to leave. You know what I mean? You have a good moment, you talk, you laugh, bang,
gone.
You got to know when to leave. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I done forgot my whole damn, point that I was.
The conference.
Yeah. So the conference was built because you can't be what you don't see. As far as young African-American males, right? We don't see enough examples.
As models.
Right? As models. My nigga, everybody can't rap. Bro, me and my wife was talking about this the other day, right? And I love, bro, my whole younger family, they all done sent me music. And I love them all. I get it.
I love when it hits the right way.
Of course.
I get it. I understand it. But I'm not going to lie to you. There's been times you've done it too.
Yeah.
When you be scrolling, and the first thing you say to yourself is, Lord, the world don't need another rapper.
Bruh.
And not just that, I've really been focused on that because it's not just, let's not just pigeonhole, hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's about all of it, whether it's entertainment, whether it's dance, whether it's hoops, there's a lot of people who only see themselves as the top player, or the coach, or the rapper. Or I'm like, nah, there's people making good. People was talking about Guru. Do you realize that Guru is a G-O-D, lowercase g? Has he ever spit a rap ever? No. There's people and there's a machine. If you really truly believe that you love this machine, then learn how to take it apart because you'll be shocked how that gear can change your life. You'll be shocked how learning how to engineer. You'll be shocked how learning how to referee.
And when I got in
cultural player, we need referees.
Exactly. So when I got into the whole festival space, right, Steve, I found out about an African-American male by the name of Al Heyman. Mm. Now, have you ever watched that Clarence Avant documentary on Netflix? It's called The Black Godfather.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Bro, and he talks about Al Heyman, but Al Heyman is a black promoter who did things in boxing, but he was a promoter for music first, right? But this brother did the Bad tour. Let me say that again. He did the Michael Jackson Bad tour.
Did Clarence mention that in there?
Yes, because I think they offered it to him, and then he gave it to the young boy at the time, which was Al Heyman. You know what I mean? But I just say all that to say, back to your point, there are so many things in this industry, whether it's entertainment there are just so many things. And I just want to show our young men and women just these different options. You know what I mean? And it was the same with the festival thing too. It was like, just see these options. You could either, you know what I mean, drink Sprite all day, you know what I mean? Or, some juices over here, some organic, like just so you can have the options, right? So anyway, I definitely wanted to put that out there just in terms of us being able to kind of see the right representation of who we are, and being able to kind of shed that light. And I think that's why the Black Panther was so successful. I think that's why a lot of these things were so successful because, young people of color got to see themselves in something that wasn't oh, I got a gun, or, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here, you know, I don't know, whatever other stereotype. Because I'm not mad at stereotypes either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to be, you know, judgy and shit. But, yeah.
I get it.
But, yeah.
Listen, man, we connect not regularly, but our spirits connect. Because I'll see the back of Canty's bald head. And
shout out to Canty one time. Shout out to Canty, man. Good God, man. What up, brother? What up? Congratulations.
Or I'll see the brim. So if I see the brim, I'm like, all right, that means that B ain't too far.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to sit in the, I gotta sit in the back of the church. My son is a piece of work. He ain't ready. He is not. Look,
I done been back there with him. Yeah.
I don't know what y'all talking about, but there is a lot of sun outside. We should do
yeah.
As a grown man, how have you been able to negotiate these spiritual streets?
man, great wording, bro. Great wording. I mean, it's like really trying to apply the knowledge that we learned, right? Because it's like, you know, you learn a lot, but you don't apply it, right? So it's not really wisdom. So I'm not knocking what I learned back in the day because I didn't really apply it. You get what I'm saying? So I guess I'm trying to, I don't know, bro. I'm on what we talked about earlier. I'm on the principles and I'm on the laws right now. I'm kind of not really on my religion so much that I'm on like I said, the principle, like self-government, right? Like I'm just trying to like get this together. You know what I mean? Because I feel like once this comes together, then everything else kind of falls in place, if that makes any sense. So from what I've heard, that this is a good time for to be selfish. I heard that it was a good time to be like self with your mental and your mind and your spirit. I'm listening to good messages. I'm reading some decent books.
So what's on your docket right now? What's the last thing?
Well, you know this because you know everybody was kind of reading it.
Absolutely. Read that book right there.
I got this joint right here. It's like a yoga type joint. This is an old classic right here. The power of positive. I got this for $5.99 over there down there in the Crenshaw district. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, fam. I got mine for 99 cents on that. You know where the In-N-Out Burger is on Lancashire?
I do.
There's a thrift store right there next to the little. I think it's a Honda dealership.
Oh, what?
Book for 99 cents.
Come on now, man. I got relationship goals. I just got this by the brother Michael Todd. Yeah. This is gonna be decent. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check that out. So yeah, man, just you know, I'm just trying to feed myself the proper things, especially during this time, right? You know what I mean? And I'm noticing that, you know, our spirits are sensitive to your point, you know? So watch what we put inside this thing. I'm not listening to everything no more. Whether that's on TV, whether that's mute, you know what I mean? Like if it just don't feel right with my spirit, then I'm kind of cool on it. And then I think young men respect that when you don't say to them, like I don't say things like if I see a young kid, I don't say yeah, and I don't always put little in front of stuff either when I'm talking to young cats. Like I don't be like little.
Read it right there.
Yeah.
Not that principle. You ever read the Celestine Prophecy?
Nah.
Read the Celestine Prophecy. Really, really good. It's the book you want to read 2 books after you finish The Alchemist.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? It's the book you want to read. It's a story of a gentleman who takes a journey, but it's really, really good. And there's a point in the story where the idea is you get what you need if you just walk. You know what I mean? So the gentleman gets to this house, and in the house is this woman and her daughter. Her daughter, I'm not really sure how young she was, but she was pretty young. I'm thinking maybe 5 or younger. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But his nature was to talk to her like you talk to a baby or a child. And she was like, I don't talk to her like that. I talk to her like an adult. I talk to her like a person.
Yeah.
And I took that into my life.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I got this from. I make it a conscious effort not to put little. I seen you with your little festival, Brandon. What you're doing, let's keep it 100. You're hating. In the literal sense, not the new hate. The new hate is if you actually say you don't like something.
Yeah.
Where we come from, hate is when you legitimately are stopping.
You try to belittle it. Yeah, don't belittle what I'm building.
Or stop me from getting somewhere or doing something.
Absolutely.
But I think the way you said that, I make sure of it. Even my daughter, I see you with your little, like, no, what you're doing is you're throwing. So I make sure that I watch my mouth.
It's a big thing. Yeah, it's a big thing, man. It's amazing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would say, you know, I guess just going back into like things that we would say to the young kings and queens, man. It's like, yo, man, make sure you got that notepad, man. Like, I am still a huge, huge fan of notepads. Write the vision and make it plain. You know what I'm saying? Yet again, going back to principles.
Yeah, there it is. And once again, you know, once you write it down, it's mandated. If I could, man, I'll probably send it to you one day. I look back on, I ain't telling nobody. I'm almost done with an act. I almost have an act done. You know, my company, Breakthrough Sports, you know, we've kind of taken a hit, but we still afloat. We still generating a little bit of revenue at a fraction.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm doing a lot, but I went back into my phone, and this is like 3 phones ago. So this is 2000. I'm on Ventura, B. I'm on Ventura over by the Kinko's. I think there used to be an American Apparel over there. You know where I'm talking.
Oh, I know where you at. You in the Valley?
Yes.
Yeah. You okay? I know where you at.
A little past, what's the Argentinian place? Yeah,
you down there. It's nice down there. You at the nice little area in Ventura. Yeah.
And my homeboy Karan, shout out to my man Karan. So I'm out sitting in his car, and he doing, you know, he don't even want me to tell this story, but they hitting him for money, so he Western Union somebody some money. And I'm telling him, nah, I don't do that. But it's his money. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm sitting in the car, and I'm going through my phone, and I start writing out my vision. And at the time, it was a lot. I wanted to break out of basketball, and I wanted to design this basketball training system that would allow people to get the same workout you would get in an actual basketball game in a workout, rather than just rehearsing moves. That's what basketball training is, right? Rehearsing moves. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I wrote that down. It was a bunch of stuff. It was camps, clinics, an app. I pulled this thing up on my phone, man. It said 2013 on it.
You did that halfway
down.
Oh,
if you're listening out there, write it down. It has a mandate. If you work, it has a mandate to show up in your life.
It's a trip, bro. It's a trip. But I will say the thing though about the me and Steves of the world that I remember is that we are in love. And I'll just speak for me right now, but I know you gon' get on this. I'm in love with the process, bro. Yeah. I'm in love with waking up early for con calls. I'm in love with going through spreadsheets. I know that sound crazy, but like, bro, I'm in love with the process, man. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget, I think it was the boy Blake Griffin or something like that. But he was saying something about falling in love with practice. And I was like, man, that's so real, man. Like if you could just fall in love with the process by the time you look up, you know what I'm saying? You might be there, or you right up the block from being there. You know what I'm saying?
You said that you right target, boom. If I had an emoji right now, I threw that target.
Yeah.
But that bullseye, and I hit send. But
straight there.
Going backwards is the thing that sets us apart, though, is we're living in purpose. I think a lot of this, like you said, the young youths, the young bucks out there, they're not living in purpose. They don't really know. There's so much stuff to take your mind off of things. You know, matter of fact, I can imagine what they're going through right now. For the first time in their life, they got to sit down somewhere.
Oh, my God. Oh, and I know they going from this phone to the iPad to the like, you know. And to your point, if they would have focused that energy, but some of them are though. Some of them are. It's a lot of them out there that's focused, and we can't wait to meet y'all. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to dap you up and tell you, yo, keep going and hold. Like I don't know, man. I'm just so excited. I think that I think somewhere down the line we gonna get it. You know what I mean? We gonna get it, you know, because there's a lot of great examples out there right now. You know what I mean? There's Steve Hodges. You know what I'm saying?
Brandon McEachern.
Oh man, there's so many good men out here, man, doing some positive things, and they're trying.
We can do this forever because we don't connect the way we're supposed to, because we're running around trying to change the world.
Yeah.
But our spirits always connect.
Always, man.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
The year of the COVID.
Man.
The year of the COVID. It's a halt to everything. Now, like I said, I am not some Mark Cuban entrepreneur. This is my first successful business. I failed like 3 other times.
Man, that's the good stuff.
Successful business. And we are, like I said, we operating at a fraction of what we would normally do. Some people ain't even operating at all. I have to ask, the festival was scheduled for the 9th, right?
Man, it was yesterday, 2 days ago, supposed to be.
You have a beautiful mind. You have a great spirit, and you have a stick-to-itness and a go-get-itness. All these things.
Yeah.
My question to you is, if this COVID-19 has a reverb, I've seen the website. I told you I know more about you than you know about yourself. I know the makeup date is in October, right?
Yeah.
What happens if the reverb of this moment is not a real, the rippling effect of this?
If it get back busy, yeah. I mean, you know.
The thing about Broccoli City is that you are connecting literally with people in close proximity with each other with the same energy, same thought process, whether it's just having a good time, eating healthy, or whether you're trying to promote something.
Yeah.
What's the contingency plan? But they don't contingency. How does Broccoli City work?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
man, we got a couple of things going. Obviously that conference that I just spoke about, we're looking to move that digital. So that's going to be happening probably the end of June or the beginning of July. So that's super dope. We started a food festival last year called Food and Grooves with the brother Questlove. So that was magnificent. But now we about to take that online. So that's going to be super dope. And you basically going to see like R&B acts with like top African-American chefs, you know what I mean? Just some content like what we doing right now. You know what I mean? So it's about making them pivots, and you got to make them pivots quick. And when this came, in all honesty with you, Steve, I never really looked at, and I'm glad that you say this all the time, but I never, Broccoli City was never a festival company, you know what I mean? It just was something that ended up happening. So the Broccoli City bar is still up, you know what I'm saying? The restaurant is still up. We moving off delivery right now, but it's all good. Shout out to and Pizza, our partners in that venture. But yeah, we just gonna move things digital, man, just like everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Still looking to connect people, bring people together. The conference will be focused on life post-COVID, because I don't think people really understand, like once this thing does stop, our communities are going to be hit really, really hard. So we just want to make sure that even folks like yourself, right, small business owners, know about the things that are out there, the tools that are out there to help them. I think financial literacy is super duper key right now, just in terms of where are you at, with your taxes, you know what I'm saying? Like little things, like things that, we just don't learn about this stuff. And then health and wellness is obviously going to be a part of that too. Maybe doing some yoga sessions and things of that nature. But I think it's really about information, and us kind of being a hub for information. We still have a lot of great, good partners. And it's just about us kind of, bringing it to life. So thank you so much for asking. But we straight, you know what I mean? And then when 2021 hit, or if the fall pop, you know what I mean? Then shoot, we out there. You know what I'm saying?
Look how excited you are, man. I love it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. And I want to say this to you real quick, bro. Like, I really admire the courage that you have. You know what I'm saying? Ever since I've met you, you've never been afraid to say what you're going to do. And I don't think, and this is yet another message for the young bulls, is writing a plan is the biggest show of faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's showing the world, the universe, that you have faith in yourself when you put a plan down and you start going toward it. So I know Hodge, you feel me? Like dude told me that he was going to do everything that he's done, and he's done it in a pretty short amount of time. Like it was, I know it was probably long to you, Steve, but it was a pretty, bro. Like I'm just super duper proud of you, man. And Alex told me about some of the major things in terms of the Clippers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you did it, man. And I know you on the way. I know that's not even scraping the surface of what you're trying to build or anything of that nature. But bruh, you was training me, bruh, in the valley. Over there, you know what I'm saying? I don't even remember where that spot was at. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. You did. You was coming.
Oh, we did the playground joint when you had us on the ground, running, bruh. Like, I worked out with this man. You know what I'm saying? Like, real tough. I worked out with you. Do you remember we used to teach us the little fighting thing where we had to like bang against each other or something? That joint was crazy. I remember living that thing, arms all flabby. That was some good work. And you was always like, you know, on it. You know what I mean? Like, just, I don't know. You're a powerful brother, man. And I appreciate your courage. And like I said, I said, you know, Nipsey's name a couple times in this interview, but that courage thing, man. You know what I mean? Cats be scared, man. You know what I mean? Like, cats really be fearful to you know, be transparent, I would say. And you're somebody who has just always been transparent, always been, like I said, I think about self-discipline involved when it come to you, you know, and I see you in the gospel with your family. You know what I mean? I see what you're doing with this. And I love you and I appreciate you in my life, man. And thank you for, you know, taking this time. And you've inspired me in many ways, my king. Like, I just look like, damn. And see, that's another thing that's dope about being around. That's another thing, young kings and young queens. Be around somebody who make you feel some tight way. Like, Steve used to be on his job so much that it would make me feel some tight way, because that's like being around somebody, like like you got a roommate or something, and every morning you wake up, he in there doing push-ups.
Accountability, man.
Bro, at some point, you're going to want to do push-ups because you're going to start seeing how he looking, and you like, damn, like, you know what I mean? So be around somebody that makes you move. And then my other last point is management, young kings and queens. Management. You know what I'm saying? Manage your time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
resources.
Yeah, all that, man. Management, bro. Like, that's probably one of the biggest things that the God put us on the ground for, man, is management, bro. You know what I'm saying? How are you managing the resources? He don't make poor or rich people. You know what I'm saying? He don't do that. You know what I mean? We do that. You know what I mean? So manage your finances. You know what I mean? If you don't know something, ask a question. You know what I mean? Take notes. You know what I mean? Write it down. Like, man, let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't be afraid. Like, let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Well, listen, Brandon McEachern,
my guy,
stole my last segment. The last segment is called Flowers. And the whole point of it is to give flowers. Black men are not showing each other love enough. We are still operating in the remnants of toxic masculinity. All right? So at the end of the day, give flowers. Brandon McEachern, I'm giving you flowers, bro. I feel all that energy, bro. And if y'all think this is corny, then unsubscribe or whatever it is. But this is love. This is real stuff right here. I just had a great conversation and I connected with my brother. Yeah, all right. So for me, I'm giving you a hug through, boss.
My God. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. Real talk. I love you too, man. And thank you. And yet again, man, thank you, man. It means a lot that you would even have me, you know, on the show. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, Steve. And keep inspiring us, man. Keep moving. This is phenomenal, bro. And I hope that whoever watches this gets something, gets a jewel from this, gets a gem for this. And, you know, go take over the world. You know what I'm saying? Go take over the world.
I'll meet you at the top and we bring everybody with us.
Say no more, my guy. Appreciate you, Steve.
Love you, man.
All right, love you, big bro. Yup.
What's up?
Yeah.